The house stood at the end of a forgotten road, surrounded by gnarled trees and suffocated by thick fog. It had been abandoned for decades, or so they said, but every night a faint light flickered from the attic window. Some claimed it was just reflections from passing cars. Others whispered about the girl who once lived there and never left. I never believed in ghost stories, not until the night I stepped inside. It started as a dare. My friends and I had been drinking by the old railway tracks, sharing urban legends. The house came up and someone, probably Liam, suggested I go inside. I laughed it off at first, but when they started calling me a coward, I had no choice. I wasn't scared of a dusty old house. At least that's what I told myself. The moment I stepped onto the porch, the air changed. It was colder than outside, unnaturally so. I swallowed the lump in my throat and pushed open the door. It groaned like a wounded animal, revealing a long, dark hallway. My flashlight flickered as I stepped inside, casting twisted shadows along the peeling wallpaper. The air smelled of rot and something else, something metallic. The floorboards creaked beneath my feet as I moved forward. A cold draft whispered through the hallway, even though there were no open windows. The house was silent except for the whispering. At first I thought it was the wind, but the voices were too distinct, too deliberate. Soft, urgent murmurs coming from upstairs. My chest tightened. Every rational part of me screamed to turn back, but my pride pushed me forward. I followed the sound, climbing the old staircase one slow step at a time. The air thickened with every step. It felt like walking through water, my legs growing heavier. At the top of the stairs, the whispers stopped. Silence pressed against my ears, suffocating and absolute. The attic door stood slightly open, a thin sliver of light spilling through the crack. I hesitated. The stories said the girl was last seen in the attic. They said she still waited for someone to find her. I reached for the door, fingers trembling. The wood was ice cold beneath my touch. I pushed it open, and my breath hitched. Inside, an old rocking chair moved back and forth, slow and deliberate. There was no wind, no one in sight, just a chair, rocking. My flashlight flickered again, and for a brief moment, I thought I saw something. Someone sitting there. A girl, her head tilted, empty eyes locked onto mine. Then she was gone. The chair stilled. A sharp breath ghosted against my ear. My stomach dropped. The door behind me slammed shut, plunging the attic into darkness. My flashlight died. Panic clawed at my throat as I fumbled with the switch, my breath coming in ragged gasps. Something moved in the corner of the room, a faint rustling sound, like fabric brushing against wood. Then the whispering returned, but this time, it was inside the room with me. I turned slowly, my heart hammering. My eyes struggled to adjust to the darkness, but I could feel it. Something standing inches away, watching me. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of voices overlapping, urgent and desperate. The attic grew colder. My fingers were numb, my breath visible in the dim light from the cracked window. Then something grabbed my wrist. A jolt of ice shot through my veins. I jerked back, stumbling against an old chest. My flashlight flickered back to life for a split second, illuminating the figure in front of me. She was there, a girl no older than 16. Her skin was ashen, lips blue, eyes sunken and hollow. Her long, tangled hair draped over her shoulders like a shroud. She wore a white dress stained with something dark, something that had dried and crusted over the years. Her lips moved, but the whispers didn't match. It was as if multiple voices spoke through her. Then she reached for me. I bolted. My hand found the doorknob, twisting it frantically. It wouldn't budge. Cold fingers brushed the back of my neck. My scream got caught in my throat as I shoved my shoulder against the door. It burst open, and I stumbled into the hallway. The whispers followed, growing more frantic. The house was changing. The wallpaper peeled in real time, revealing blackened wood beneath. The floor warped, stretching like melting wax. Shadows slithered along the walls, shifting and writhing. I ran, my feet barely touching the stairs as I barreled down. The front door loomed ahead, but the moment I reached for it, the whole house groaned, like it was alive. The door swung open on its own, and I didn't hesitate. I burst outside, gasping for air, collapsing onto the cold dirt. Behind me, the house stood still and silent, as if nothing had happened. My friends were gone. Their cars, the empty beer cans, everything. The road was empty, swallowed by fog. My phone was dead. I stumbled to my feet, heart still hammering. The house watched me with its empty windows, the attic light flickering once before going dark.